Hello everyone, my name is Iris France, 我叫连婉如. Today we're going to solve problem 2-2. Now remember last time we talked about when we have a budget M, when we have two goods P1 and P2, then the slope of your budget line is going to be negative P1 over P2. So that is your budget line. And the intercept will be M over P1 0 and 0 M over P2. So if you don't remember this part, please go back to review. We know the slope of a budget line has a meaning. So here, our slope is negative P1 over P2. That means the opportunity cost of good 1 in terms of good 2 is exactly P1 over P2. And using plain English is this. If you want to consume 1 unit of good 1, you will have to sacrifice P1 over P2 units of good 2. One more time. In order to consume 1 unit of good 1, you will have to sacrifice P1 over P2 units of good 2. So it's a concept of opportunity cost. Now, suppose good 1 is rationed at Z. Now that is going to change the shape of your budget line. So after unit Z, in order to consume more good 1, you don't pay P1. You will have to pay P1 plus T. So there is a tax there. If you want to consume Z units or within units, the price is still P1. But after the Z's unit, for each unit of additional unit of good 1, you will have to pay P1 plus T. So that is going to change the slope of our budget line. So the slope of our budget line is not P1 over P2 anymore after point Z. The slope will change to P1 plus T, negative P1 plus T over P2. So you can see that the slope of our budget line will become steeper. It will go from this to this way. So it will become steeper after point Z. So that's the first unit. And we can find the kink point. So what is the kink point? So obviously the kink point, we are consuming Z unit of good 1. But how many units of good 2 are we consuming? So after I buy Z units of good 1, I'm left with the budget M minus P1 times Z because I have Z units of good 1. And I'm spending P1 times Z amount of money on good 1. So the rest of the money will be M minus P1Z. Divided by P2 will be the units of good 2 I can consume here. So the kink point is Z, M minus P1Z divided by P2. And what is the intercept here? That means if I spend all my money buying good 1, then how many units of good 1 can I consume? So I have Z unit first, and how much money do I have left? That will be M minus P1Z. That's the rest of the money I have. But for the additional units of good 1, I have to pay P1 plus T. So I will be able to buy that additional units of good 1 if I spend all the money on good 1. So that will be the intercept. Z plus M minus P1Z divided by P1 plus T. And no good 2. So that's the first part of the question. Now moving on, the question asks you, what happens if T is negative? So you think, how can a tax be negative? Well, that will be a subsidy. That means if you purchase the first Z units, you have to pay P1. But after the Z's unit, if you want to buy more, then I give you a discount. So you heard of buy 1 get 1 50% off. That's the idea. So in that case, this is our original budget line and the slope was negative P1 over P2. But after the these units, you will actually pay less for good 1. So you can see that our slope of the budget line will become flatter than before. So that's the second question. The last case of rationing is this. It doesn't matter how rich you are. After you're buying Z units of good 1, you're not allowed to buy anymore. And during the pandemic time, Amazon Fresh actually restrict the amount of toilet paper you can purchase. I think it's a 2 packs maximum. It doesn't matter how rich you are. So in that case, you can see that your budget line is going to become a vertical line here, ration at Z. Now for instructors, you might feel disappointed. You're trying to assign this question for your students, but now I'm explaining everything. Now don't be disappointed. So I would suggest that you change the rationing good to good 2. If students really learn how to sketch a diagram when you're rationing good 1, then they should be able to solve the question when we're rationing good 2. So I hope this helps, and I'll see you next time.